today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video from last week that Dan put together. And this week I wanted to talk very briefly about 5 tips, if you will, regarding how to interview and how to have a better interview outcome. So jumping right into it, one of the things that is oftentimes admittedly overlooked, even though it seems a bit self-explanatory, is appearance. So making sure that not only do you present professionally, but also appear professional in what you're there to accomplish. So gentlemen, for you, suit and tie would be preferred. Ladies, I would strongly encourage you either dress casual or a business casual or maybe a pantsuit as well. So something conservative that says, hey, I'm here professional, I'm taking this seriously, and making sure, of course, that things are ironed, things are not wrinkled, and making sure that, again, when people see you walk in the door, they know that you're here to conduct yourself appropriately. So moving on to number 2, enthusiasm. A bit abstract, if you may, but it's ultimately something that I also see oftentimes overlooked. And what I mean by this is making sure that you set the bar with regards to the enthusiasm and the engagement level for the interview itself. So this can be done in a couple different ways. Making sure that you ask lots of questions. I almost always encourage candidates to have a padfolio with them or something showing that they've maybe put some pen to paper regarding some questions that they might have, and not only about the opportunity, but also about the community. That's a very key piece, especially if this opportunity happens to be in a smaller town. People are oftentimes worried about how outsiders might perceive their community, so making sure that you ask questions showing interest in the community goes a long ways. And again, if you come out of the gate early in the interview with enthusiasm, people tend to match that enthusiasm, and so by the end of the day, you're going to have people coming up to you introducing themselves that you've not even met, simply because word has spread throughout the facility that you're here and you're doing a really good job on the interview. Number 3, avoiding negotiating. Now again, this is not something that I see as common, but on occasion I will learn that a hospital administrator or somebody might have simply asked some questions pertaining to compensation or anything that might have made the candidate feel a bit uneasy as a negotiating standpoint. And so I would encourage you to maybe simply politely refrain from negotiating on site, if you will. Oftentimes, you're going to have a better outcome getting whatever it is that you're looking for from a negotiating standpoint post-interview and not there in the heat of the moment. And oftentimes that's where somebody like myself as your consultant can help out in how we go about getting whatever those negotiations are accomplished. Number 4, somewhat simple in gist, but oftentimes overlooked, just simply sending a nice thank you letter or email to those that you met with over the course of the interview. Oftentimes you're getting handed a number of business cards throughout the course of the day. Hang on to those obviously, and you can either send them individual emails or simply send a group email, and that goes a long ways with a lot of facilities. So even if things don't work out and this isn't ultimately the job for you, it still shows a gesture of good faith that you appreciate and respect the amount of time that they've invested in having you on site. Number 5, last but certainly not least, timely decision making. Now, admittedly, there are a number of different variables and aspects that go into making such a large decision. Number of interviews, time frame from when you graduate, your spouse, family, the job itself, location. There's so many variables. However, in all of those instances, the decision itself is not necessarily based upon based on time. It's based on information. So in my line of work, yeses and nos are completely acceptable answers. It's the maybes that I really try to avoid, and I find the best way for a candidate to do that is by asking lots of questions and by maybe prior to the interview having thought through what are my top criteria. If I had to make a pros and cons list before and after the interview, how much thought have I given to where this opportunity may rank compared to either other opportunities that I've considered or based upon my own timeline? And I think when it comes to getting whatever that may be on your end with regards to compensation or the job itself, time is of the essence, and you're going to have more leverage the sooner you're able to make a timely decision. So just being mindful that they may have other candidates, there may be a sense of urgency based on their need for this particular physician. So taking all of that into consideration, maybe just simply putting a little bit of thought into it before your interview might help you in getting a timelier decision being made. So hopefully these were 5 quick tips that I can certainly expand upon. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Like us on YouTube, follow our page, and look for us on social media. And again, thank you for your time today, and we'll talk soon.